Hi, and welcome along to AFTV. We are here for the preview, well, not preview, for the looking forward to what the starting 11 is going to be today. Joined today by Julian and Lee, and this is another one of those, I say it all the time, every game's a massive game because every game is a must-win game. This one's got kind of particular emphasis on it because we can put a lot of pressure on Liverpool ahead of their visit to the Etihad tomorrow where they take on Manchester City. Could possibly go, if we won today, within 5 points of, Liverpool with a game in hand. This is a huge, huge game today. Let me start with you, Julian.
Yeah, you've used very tentative language on could and should.
Well, could.
And you also said maybe.
Right.
And for me, that's not confident enough. When you look at the opposition...
I'm hosting a show. What do you want me to do? Just go and take the piss and start dissing the. And before you start doing that, is what you usually do. Let's not forget. Let's not... And big up Nicky's in the building from West Ham Fan TV. And he looked over at you when you were starting. Right? Let's not forget last season.
6-0.
Last season.
5-2.
That was away. What happened at home?
At home, we had the most amount of shots I've ever seen.
All right, before you get to all that around it, what happened in that game?
We very unfortunately, and the emphasis is on unfortunately, lost the game.
All right. At 2-0, could have been 3-0. I remember they missed a penalty as well. So before you start getting about why you're saying would, could, it's not a if you ever needed proof that you can never just assume you're going to win because the team's on off form. That was it last season. And that's the sort of complacency we've got to guide against.
Well, they were actually quite good last season, West Ham. Much better than they are this season. And the reason why I'm so confident is because I have spent time talking to Nicky this week, who has enforced my confidence, reinforced it.
Nicky's all doom and gloom, isn't he? Like that?
Yeah, with all respect to Nicky, right? He ain't going to be out on the pitch. He ain't going to be Nicky passing the ball to Jared Morris.
But he's an expert.
How much percentage are you thinking we're going to win today? Because I've been out with all my mates in the pub just now, and we're saying
75.
70 is the best we got to.
75% chance that I think we're going to win.
Well, really,
and I think that's realistic.
9%, shouldn't we? But we're not.
No, but it's still Premier League. Robbie is right in you can't. It's not a foregone conclusion. But the reason why I pulled him up on the language is because it was very wishy-washy. Like we could, we might.
Listen, I do believe that we should win the game.
Should
today,
is good,
right? But I'm saying should until the game's actually over.
I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't win today.
Right? You wouldn't be.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, I would be. Obviously, if we didn't win the game today, I'll be surprised because we're supposed to win this game today, but you can't take anything for granted in this league. We know that, and Arsenal are going to have to, and Arsenal are under pressure. You know what I mean? Arsenal are under pressure today, aren't they, Lee?
Exactly that. I think West Ham can come here. Haven't really got a lot to play for, and they're not going to get relegated, but they're looking to build for next season. So the pressure's off them. They can sit in a block and make it very, very difficult for us, which is our Achilles heel when it comes to playing. It's all right if you have a look at the game last week. Leicester definitely a lot more open against Brentford. Brentford smashed them against us. They were more defensively, and obviously we found it very, very difficult. And unfortunately, teams are not going to open up against us. They are going to play that way. I'm pretty sure that West Ham will come in there, banks of four, and make it very, very difficult for us. We've got to break it down. And it's not our strongest part of our game, Rob, and that's where I'm a little bit worried. But listen, if we're to do anything in this league and all that, we've got to win today. And with that, there is pressure. I'm feeling it today, I think with Liverpool not losing, but losing points, dropping points on Wednesday, straight away, we've got to get the job done there against West Ham. This would be a difficult game. There's reasons it's a difficult game. One, it's a London derby. Two, the Declan Rice thing, I think, has upped the ante in this fixture. And the fact of the matter is, on the last couple of occasions, particularly at home, definitely not away from home, because I think in those away games, West Ham open up to us a little bit more. But at home, they've caused us some real difficult games. And they've got one of the better... I was looking this up today. They've got one of the better records at the Emirates than a lot of teams. West Ham.
In the Premier League
more times than
than any other team.
Yeah.
We've beaten them 37 times in the Premier League. We've only ever beaten one team more, which is Everton. And it's interesting you should say about Declan Rice. That's up the ante, so you see that as a negative. For me, that's an absolute positive.
I see that as positive.
We've taken their best player, their captain. Now he's playing for us. How can that be?
No, all right then. So they beat us last season in the league. They also knocked us out of the cup. You know what I mean? Like,
was that last season?
That was the League Cup.
We played them 4 times last season.
Yeah, but we did smash them a couple of times.
Was it 4 times or
3
3
times?
times?
3
They
times.
beat us twice.
Yeah, they did.
So, there is a factor in that. Listen, we're the better team.
I think the Declan Rice thing, I'm actually glad that that's there, because that means, right, that I don't think it's going to be like a flat.
No,
You know what I mean? That's something for us as well to live, because my thing sometimes in some of these games is that we're flat, especially at the start of the game. Instead of coming out there and really, you know, I do feel sometimes if we come out with the right tempo, these are teams that we can blow away. But sometimes we come out, it's all slow and that, and you know, these teams are looking at it and thinking to themselves, right, let's just get to half time, keep it 0-0, and then after that, that's when the pressure starts to show, because you know you go a goal down, a draw ain't good enough. You need to win these games.
Yeah,
you know,
because you can have pressure, but pressure you can react to pressure in different ways. You can either be too laid back because you're not under pressure and not perform to your highest levels, or pressure can make sure you don't perform at your highest level because it gets too much. But the fact that Arsenal are in this position, it's week in, week out. It's not as if they're going out and doing something they've never done.
As well.
So they should be used to it, and it also should be a motivator because they do have to win.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the interesting thing is, I was driving down today. I was chatting to Curtis, and I was saying to Curtis that
that was a riveting, positive call.
You dissing Curtis like that, right? And I was saying to Curtis, right?
Yeah.
I was saying to Curtis, right, that despite all the negativity around Arsenal, right, actually doing really well at the moment. We're on a 15-game unbeaten run, Arsenal, which is, you know, and the fact that with all the injuries and all the adversity around Arsenal, and we're looking on the screen there at Ruben Amorim, who's like, you know, a couple of injuries to United, they're even worse, right? But with all that adversity, right, he still hasn't lost, he hasn't been losing in the Premier League. He's still been keeping the thing going, and we're still, you know, as we said at the start of the show, could possibly be within touching distance of Liverpool.
I think that's a credit to him. The only unfortunate thing is there's someone on a 20-odd game unbeaten run.
Yeah,
you know,
that's it.
That's the reality.
That's it. That's the reality of it.
We had a great run last season, but there was someone on a better run than us last season. You know, so we've got to be able to, and we've got the opportunity to sort that out in May. But what we've got to do is just keep with them. And at the end of the day, we've had injuries that I think at the end of the day I don't care what anybody says. He's our best player. We've had him now missing for months. We're still unbeaten since he's been out of the team. Yeah, you know. Probably maybe nicked if he'd have been playing against Brighton. Who knows? We might have won that game and Aston Villa and whatever, like, you know. But at the end of it, we've done exceptionally well without him, and we're going to have to do exceptionally well without a couple of other players now. Like, and at the end of the day, as you say, you see other teams, you know, we haven't got our players playing, and they're dropping points and all that. So we've done fantastically well, I think, to keep ourselves in. And
we've actually kept up with Liverpool since October. We've got the same amount of points as Liverpool. But also, you talk about injuries. A lot of the teams we're playing got injuries. West Ham, they've got a lot of injuries.
But I don't think they've had injuries to their best
players.
I
mean,
today.
Paquetá's out today,
Paquetá's one of their best players.
Talking about,
and Somerville is out.
Yeah, but he's not one of the main players.
We've had our best player. We've had Odegaard out.
Talking about Odegaard 3 months, Saka out now for months. Ben White, who was a fixture last year, one of our best players, out for months. You know what I mean? These are key players. These are not. You know what I mean? Martinelli's out now at the moment. You know what I mean? Havertz, who's a key player for Arsenal, out till the rest of the season.
Manchester City have had their key player out, Robbie, and they've crumbled. Like, so you have to give a little bit of credit to what we've done. Like, Saka is such an important player to us. I don't care what anybody says. There was a little reel going around. He makes something out of nothing at times. You know, I saw
something. We still got the most goal contributions or something like that, or some sort of stat like that, even though he's been injured.
He's an incredible player
in the league.
You know, and that to have him not here for probably to the whole of the season.
Yeah,
you have to say that there is a little bit of credit in the bank there for the manager.
Yeah,
who, by the way, still getting a little bit of stick. But, you have to look at that and go, well done.
Yeah, Seika with a super chat, he says, I'm very confident we'll win. It's Arsenal's time, he says. So he also goes on to say West Ham will get the volcano sauce today. I think that's a little reference to Nicky.
Apparently he wasn't well after that, Nicky. I heard he wasn't well.
He didn't handle that volcano sauce very well. Mr. Kaplan says, similar subject, said, Julian, did you block the toilet during the 2023 US tour?
It was 22. I did 22, but 23. It was never found out who did that. All I can say, it definitely wasn't me, but in 22. But the thing is, in 22, when I did it, I admitted to it straight away.
Did.
So why would I then deny it in 23?
I want to change the subject immediately.
He walks out, it was stuff he could not admit it. But he did admit it.
I want to change the subject immediately. What front three would you go with today, Lee?
One that finished the game last week.
What about you?
I'm so undecided because I think if you don't play Sterling this game, that's it. You finish and you're another player down. I think if any time you've got to give him another chance. Not that he deserves another chance, but against West Ham at home with also another really important game and a more difficult game following Wednesday night, I'd still give him that one last chance. But the difference is I'd hook him at half time if it's not working out.
Listen, I'm fed up of Arsenal playing 1.5 of games.
Yeah.
Right? You go with what you think's going to be the strongest front three. This is my opinion. I'd go with Marino in from the start.
If it was a cup final, I'd absolutely agree.
But it is a cup final.
It's not, because we've still got a cup final. It's done on that day. So
for me,
not
it's a cup final.
It's a
These
league.
are all cup finals.
Well, I can't afford to. I think if Arsenal don't win today,
I don't. But if Arsenal get another player drops off. I mean, look at Wanyeri. But you look at Wanyeri. He's a young boy. He's 17. He's growing, and already you probably want him to play every game, don't you?
He has to play every game.
No, because if you do play him every game,
what do you mean no?
Because
he has.
Because you want him. You want him there. You have to protect.
Unless Wanyeri's injured, he has to play every game.
And you don't want the likelihood of him getting injured.
That's the situation.
Listen, you can argue that case and play and maybe rest him against PSV because we haven't got to win that game.
By the way, I'm getting.
We've got to win this game.
Our social team, who've been very accurate on these things,
they're very hot.
Are giving me what they think. Right, they're thinking that there's going to be 2 changes today. Marino coming in for Raheem Sterling and Calafiore for Miles Lewis-Skelly. That's what they're saying. But the team is yet to be confirmed, but that's what our social team are saying. They've been very good on these things over the past few weeks. Every time they've come with a leak, they've got it right. So, but certainly for me, Marino has to start. And Wanyeri, as I said, unless this is the problem that we've sown for ourselves. Well, we ain't done it, but when that what we was arguing about the other day on Invincibles, when you don't go and buy anybody, you have to play these guys.
Yes, and that is the case. But then one of the reasons I believe that we're in this situation is because you overplayed Saka.
Yeah, but it's not just Saka out. Havertz is out.
No, but Saka's the one.
All right, but we're not just talking about Saka.
And Havertz was overplayed as well.
We're talking about a load of players, right, that are out. So
and Havertz and Saka, maybe it's a coincidence, maybe it's not, that those 2 players have played the most amount of minutes for us.
If you don't play them players, who do you play?
That's why you have a squad.
Yeah, who comes in for Wanyeri? All right, so let's leave out Wanyeri and Marino.
So maybe Wanyeri should have played a bit more instead of Saka.
No, but although this is what we got in front of us now, Julian. This is what I think you operate similar to like how the board operate, but this is what's in front of you now.
That's a compliment.
Right? If you leave out Wanyeri, who are you for?
Okay, so maybe Sterling plays there. And then you have Trossard on the left, and then you have. So all I'm saying,
we've got a break. We ain't got a game next weekend. What do you want about?
No, we've got a game Wednesday night.
Yeah, well, that's 2 games. They can do 2 games in 4 days. Then they have a break, and then they go again for the game. And then we have another break.
It doesn't have to be this game, but all I'm saying is I don't want to be in the same situation where Wanyeri goes down, especially with the fact he's 17 and he's still growing.
But this is the problem they've sown for us.
It is a problem, but
right? We have to. We in a situation, as I said, unless he's injured. Unless he's in the red zone, as they say, he has to play.
At the end of the day, Wanyeri has to play now. For the simple fact is, because if
got no one else,
the drop off after him is
horrible.
It's horrible. So
It's horrible, and that's
trying to win a league.
Yeah, and that's why if you are going to try it, then it should be a game like West Ham at home with everything you know about West Ham. And you change it, but you
winning the game, June. If you can beat 3-0 up, then get him off or whatever. I think you can't.
Go and ask Nicky over there if he would, if he should be, resting Jared.
You can't take these teams lightly.
But they've got nothing to play for.
Julian,
they're not going down. They're not getting into Europe. So they might as well just get their best players.
They will be up for this game today because
they will be.
So there you go.
All right, listen.
I've got your best team.
I've got the lineup. It's confirmed now. So this is the lineup to play the game today against West Ham. In goal, Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, and Calafiori.
I'll tell you, this social team.
Yeah, brilliant.
Right? The social team got that spot on. A midfield of Partey, Rice, and Odegaard. And up front, Wanyeri, Trossard, and Marino in from the start. Big up the social team.
Yeah, very good.
Spot on again. On the bench is Neto. Ben White is on the bench. Encouraging to see him there. Kieran Tierney, Mars Lewis-Skelly, Oleg Zinchenko, Kivior, Jorginho, Butler Day, and Raheem Sterling. That is the bench. As we know, not a lot of attacking options on that bench. Plenty of defensive options, but not a lot of attacking options. Happy with the team, Lee?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Like one position that I might have looked to have changed was maybe Timber, because I'm thinking I do think that he's playing a lot of games.
You surprised that?
I think he's done fantastically well.
You surprised that Lewis-Skelly has been left out? He's been playing really, really well. You surprised that he's been left out for the game today?
Yeah, because I thought more likely that Calafiori would come in against Nottingham Forest in this game, because I think we're at home. We need to be more. We're getting more in midfield. But Calafiori can attack down that flank as well, and he can do that job as he's proved. But I felt if they was to probably do it, would be a bit more shored up for the Nottingham Forest game. But no, listen, I think Calafiori done well when he come on. I think that's forgotten. But I thought Miles Lewis played very, very well against Leicester. Yep. But maybe set pieces and all that, maybe like they're thinking like Calafiori in there, maybe a bigger for this sort of game. I don't know. Okay,
I've got the starting 11 for West Ham as well. Nicky will be interested to hear this one. In goal, Areola, Wan-Bissaka, Tadibo, Kilman and Cresswell, Scarles, Alvarez, Ward-Prowse, Souček, Bowen and Mohamed Kudus. That is their 11. No Paqueta. There was lots of talk he was going to be injured. He is injured. And their bench is Fabianski, Soler, Mavropanos. Doesn't start the game. Doesn't return back. Ings, Rodriguez, Ferguson. I'm surprised that he doesn't start. Emerson and Irvin. You happy with that team? Nicky, he's in the background. He's nodding his head. He's quite happy with that team, he says.
Stronger bench than us.
Yeah, they've got attacking options on it, innit? Are you happy with the Arsenal team?
Yeah, I'm happy Calafiori's in, because the other part of it is you need players that are going to be ready to come in, and he's good enough to play in the first 11. And if you leave him out too long, then I think his performances can tail off when you do need him, or if you do need him. So I think it's important to have players that are on the fringes to get game time. The other thing that I thought might happen, which hasn't, is I thought Jorginho would play instead of Partey. I thought Partey was a little bit off it against Leicester.
By the way, Man United just got a goal back in that game against Everton. That's 2-1. I think who's that? Maguire. Is that Maguire?
No, it's not a goal.
Yeah, Maguire fell over.
Wasn't it a goal?
No.
Is that a penalty, was it?
No, it's Maguire falling over.
He thinks he should have got a penalty.
I thought he got a goal.
Yeah.
I thought he got one back. Lee Jacobs says, play Sterling through the middle. Trossard needs to be left wing. Ethan right wing. Even if he scores 1 out of 5 chances, at least he'll get chances. He used to play there before, and it won't disrupt the shape. Lee Jacobs also says, Robbie, who says Marino is as good as a starter. He made an impact from the bench. Just keep it that way and don't destroy Sterling's confidence more. Well, Lee, The manager's not with you on this one. He's gone with Marino from the start, and I think that's the wise decision. And plus, the guy's just scored 2 goals. His confidence is up. Why are you going to have him on the bench?
That's the thing
that
for me.
That would be crazy.
I get what Lee's saying there, like that he was an impact last season, but we now got to know if he's
last week. Yeah.
Sorry, last week. But we've got to now know if he's going to be the main guy for us.
Yeah.
And at home against West Ham, he's probably the best start.
He just scored 2 goals.
Yeah. So
if you just scored 2 goals, right? Why are you leaving that on the bench? Goals win games.
It could well be that Sterling comes in.
Yeah, it could be. Look, if Sterling does come on, I think it's really important that the crowd get behind him.
Yeah, and where he comes on.
Yeah, wherever he comes on. If he comes on 20 minutes ago, 25 minutes ago, I think everyone's got to really get behind him.
Yeah, 100%.
Alex Smith says, Yo-Yo Baldy's in the house. I am going for 3-0 and Raheem Sterling, if he can stay off the pitch, even better. So he's not.
Yeah, but that's not the attitude, really.
Lee Jacobs said, I said on DR Sports, Timber must rest. Ben overlaps, bring Martin and Ethan into the game even more, and puts more crosses in. It's crucial now. Well, obviously, they've also got to ease Ben White.
I like to see Ben White at some stage.
25 minutes.
You can't just rush him back either. It'd be the same thing when Saka, if he gets back, it would be the same thing with him as well. You can't just rush these players back in. They've got to ease back in. Jordan Evans says, Julian, you said not just to get any forward person if the price ain't right. So playing Ethan is the result. Can't have your cake and eat it. Very true. That's what you said on Invincibles. You can't get any forward players. That's what he said. He goes,
I wasn't into numbers, and perhaps that's what they did with Sterling. They just got an extra number in. Unfortunately, we didn't know about it. When Sterling signed, I don't think any of us had really seen how poor he was, and anyone hadn't seen him because he hadn't played much for Chelsea. And now we realise there's a reason why he hadn't played for Chelsea.
That's not what the guy's kind of saying. What the guy's saying is that you were defending the board on the Invincible, saying that, if you don't see a forward, you don't just get any old person at any price and stuff like that. What the guy's saying is the price of that is that Ethan Nwaneri has to play.
But what I said, you've taken half of what I said, and that's what
he said.
No, all right, what he said. I still adhere to that I wouldn't want to just see a player brought in for the sake of a number. I want to see the right player coming in.
There were decent players out there you could bring in.
Well, they didn't want to come, did they? Or we couldn't get them?
Well, Marco Asensio, he went to Villa.
The fact of the matter is, when the transfer window closed, Martinelli and Havertz were still available.
It's still light, and we were still saying that's light.
Yeah,
that's
I know.
Light, but
what was it?
But then they've gone down.
But what were we all saying? What if? And we weren't even saying.
I know. So
we were saying, what if? I remember clearly saying it on one show. I go, what if Havertz gets injured? Who's comes in?
Well, and that's the gamble that they took, and it's failed. Yeah. What you've got. The consequence
if Marino's going to be
is Marino's coming, but he's
that'll be
forward.
luck.
But Ethan Nwaneri and I'm going to say it now, Trossard have got to play, not all the time, but they've got to play these next couple of games because by the time
you've got to start.
They play these next 2 games, by the time the next game plays well, hopefully Martinelli will be available.
Hopefully. Mr. Kaplan likes your hoodie. He says it's on fire.
Yeah,
he says, what make is it? He's asking.
It's falcon light.
I thought it was an Albanian flag.
So no, it's
Albanian hoodie.
It's a falcon light. Right. Falcon light. Look them out. I'm an ambassador for them. Like that.
You're an ambassador for them.
What do you have to do?
Wear it when I want.
Right. So how much they pay you for that? Then?
Oh, that's between me and the owner.
Oh, you're on AFTV, isn't it? So, we should be
sharing. You want to come there?
Well, you should be wearing the merchandise,
We should be sharing in some of that, isn't it? So the ambassadorial role, what was that?
I'll get you a jump. Do you want a hoodie?
Yes.
I'll rather the money.
I'll have the hoodie.
Right. Ambassador Lee. Right. Yeah. Trader IQ says, these players are giving all, get behind them. Come on, you Gunners. Definitely true, mate. Lee Jacobs says, lastly, big up to you boys. Love from South Africa. Big up to you, Lee Jacobs. We always appreciate you sending in the super chats. He also says, best case scenario, Raheem on at 3-0 up. Well, and he scores. That's very 100%. True. Very true.
Even at 2-0. Would that's the problem you got now. I don't know if you think like, say if we're 1-0 up with 10 minutes to go.
No.
Would you bring him on?
Yeah. No,
then how about it's 0-0 with 10 minutes to go? Would you bring him on?
You might have to then.
Yeah, and he scores the winner.
That's all we got.
And then, we'll have to have.
I think I'll be going home by then. That's a scenario that could happen.
Yeah. He could go from 0 to hero.
The thing is about him as well. He's got to step up. He's all right. Everybody, saying we feel sorry for him and this and that, which we do, right? But he's a professional footballer. He's getting a lot of money. He's getting well rewarded. He's got the Arsenal shirt on him, playing at a stadium. Players out there would dream to do. He has to up his game.
I'm pretty sure
he has to up his game.
When he warms up, they warm up. Going on, I bet he'll get a good reception when he.
He'll get a good reception, but he now needs to get it in his head and say to himself, right, now I've got to deliver for these guys, man. Mikel Arteta put faith in me, bringing me here, and Edu and that, right? The fans are here. We got a title to try and win, or even get close to, right? I got to deliver. That's what I mean.
He wasn't the only one that played bad against Leicester, by the way.
He weren't, but he was the worst.
Yes, he was. And I think there's a couple of other players in that team at the moment would be probably glad that he did play because they got away with it.
I think Partey was one of them.
Partey maybe one of them. Trossard was another. Yep. But those guys have delivered for us.
Yeah, that's the thing. They've
got credit in the bank.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about a player that's not delivered at all yet.
Yeah. So that's where the pressure is.
Yeah, and he's got to now. He's been here for a while now, and he's getting game time. Can't complain about not getting game time. He's got to deliver. Zenix says, does a prime Wilshere get into this current midfield? Partey, Odegaard.
I think he'd get instead of Partey.
Prime Ramsey would. Prime Fabregas and a prime
Rice. I don't know, Prime
Fabregas.
Because he's not getting... Partey's a different position, so you can't say he's not going to come in and play a holding midfielder. He's
Fabregas.
Fabregas would, yeah. And does a prime Wilshere get in ahead of Odegaard?
Yeah. Prime.
No.
Prime Odegaard.
Do you know how many goals has Odegaard scored this season?
Yeah, this season. He hasn't had a great.
We're talking about this season, like prime.
No, we're saying prime for both players, not when he's having a quiet season. We're all about prime.
That's how good Wilshere was.
No, he was brilliant, but a prime Wilshere, prime Odegaard.
Prime Wilshere.
I think Odegaard scored 15 goals last season, didn't he?
Huh?
Didn't he get 15 goals last
season? I feel listen, he's a great player, Odegaard.
I don't know, let's put it out there. Let's ask him.
It's close.
It's a close one. Eric says, that's another player he was a bit better last week, actually, Odegaard. He was a better performance, but still we want more from him as well.
25 he was, but I think he's been poor. 2 goals this season, 3 assists is not good enough.
He's missed a lot of chances.
And doesn't shoot when he should. I think you're all saying about Sterling. He is the captain. He has got to start stepping up now.
Big up to White Yardie in the building as well.
White Yardie's here,
yeah. He's at the game today. Eric says, I would go with a diamond format with Rice on the right, Marino on the left-hand side, and Odegaard at the tip. Then you have Trossard and Ethan to play narrow. Yeah. Lee Jacobs says Martin needs to score more goals.
Yeah, he does.
Goes unnoticed. He definitely. Last season,
I think he's a wonderful player, and I do think that injury has done a lot more to him than what. I think he come back way too early than what he'd done, and I think
he played so well when he came back.
Yeah, but that's your ankles. I imagine after games it stiffens up and all that. Listen, he's done well, but that's a long while ago now. He needs to be at his very, very best now going forward, because we need goals from midfield as well, which we haven't got. 2 goals. We're lacking from that area. How many's Partey got? How many's Rice got?
3. Rice a few.
We need one. So
especially when you're missing your forward players. I think Rice could score more. He's definitely having more shots than.
Yeah. But Odegaard's the one that's in there, I watched the game back, dictates from certain, dictating when it really matters in that final third, and I think that he's definitely got the ability to do it.
Yeah, he's definitely still been decent this season.
He organises the press. A lot of what Odegaard does is off the ball, which I think Wilshere did as well. Wilshere was, put maximum effort in, but Odegaard organises.
What I used to like about Wilshere is the way he could carry the ball.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a great save by Arnaldo.
He was, injuries. We never really know how good Wilshere was, which is a shame. A lot of those players.
Because he was overplayed.
He was in that first season.
He was overplayed because his body, his muscles weren't ready for it.
He was an injury-prone player, unfortunately.
And also probably the way he played.
Yeah, he did say he incised tackles, didn't he?
Yeah, I remember that final injury. I say final injury, the one that really put him out at Arsenal. He was going forward, wasn't he, on the edge of the box?
Was it Man United?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that was a bad tackle.
It was a bad tackle, but yeah, you drew it. The more you're on the ball,
Yeah.
the more chance you got of getting hacked.
Yeah, the more chance you do have of getting hacked. Predictions for today. Let's get your score, Julian.
I haven't changed. I think I'm still 2-0 to Arsenal.
2-0?
2-0, late second goal. I think it'd be a very edgy game. I don't think we're going to enjoy today.
Well, you say that every week. I mean,
Yeah, you don't enjoy any games. Remember when we beat Spurs? Even after the game, you were screaming, miserable, angry.
What was that game when he was just walking around? I mean,
He walked out.
Games where he just walks
No,
out.
he walked out Newcastle.
Yeah, there was another game where I saw somebody arguing with a steward and stuff like. Well, not arguing with a steward. Go to steward. We should have done this. We should have done that at the end of the game.
Oh, that was Brentford, wasn't it?
When I looked over, that was Lee. Yeah, I mean,
Miserable.
and we won that game.
Yeah.
I was very happy when we. Was the last?
When was the last time you were happy?
I ain't seen you.
happy at Leicester.
No, you weren't.
No, you weren't.
You
man.
were
You
not.
weren't. At
You were
half-time.
not happy.
And he's got this little crew in a minute.
Yeah,
like,
little
they're
crew.
all
was
miserable.
I miserable?
You were a little
Was I
crew of
moaning?
misery.
Was I-
And they
was
pointed
I-
at me.
You
Was
got your
I
little-
moaning?
You got your little crew in
I had a
it.
little crew.
That
I
guy,
was-
that is that guy with the grey hair.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what was funny about that, right? Is I was on, and I weren't moaning that day, but when I come up, like, they all went to Julian like, "Happy with that, are you?" And he went, "Well, it's not been too good, has it?" he didn't go, "Yeah, it's been brilliant."
No, it wasn't brilliant, but you know.
What was the last game that I really enjoyed? It's a good point.
We'll wait for
Yeah, go on.
There ain't been that many this
No.
year. There hasn't
What
been.
about
that
the
many this year.
you came to Portugal, didn't you? About when we smashed Sporting.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
You were moaning on that game.
No,
as
I
well,
was
yeah?
not moaning on that game. I was only moaning because all the smoke was coming up. I
Oh
couldn't
yeah,
see
we
anything,
couldn't
like-
see. That was.
But that was probably like that was as good as performance. That was Arsenal what they'd beat. Do you know when we beat Crystal Palace 5-1? I weren't happy with that because Saka went off injured. Remember he went off injured.
Yeah.
I was down.
You were miserable.
Yeah, you
I
were
was-
miserable.
Hey,
that was.
what do you bring us well onto another subject, right? Is the Champions League draw made yesterday? We know that it's PSV in the next round.
Thank you, Julian.
It wasn't my fault. I didn't want to go.
Yeah, kept going on about. Please don't be. It was written in the stars, wasn't it?
And if we get through that,
Right.
a quarter final of either Atletico or Real Madrid.
I actually think we should.
Who do you
book-
want?
Well,
What if we got through?
one of those. It doesn't matter.
I want to know who you want.
I'd rather Real Madrid.
I know what. I mean, the harder game.
I'd
because he
rather
wants
Real
to go
Madrid.
to the
He wants to go to the
stadium,
Bernabeu.
No, I've been to the Bernabeu. It's on my
it's-
spreadsheet.
it's
No,
not-
I've been to the
But,
Bernabeu.
but it's all done up now and it's different.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
different
but
stadium.
would it count on my spreadsheet as a new ground?
it's a new
Or
stadium.
is it on the site? Yeah, that's
It's the same site.
It's the same site.
You could put it in different colours.
you been to Atletico? I've been to
yeah,
Atletico.
but that's where we first met.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh dear, I don't want to
Yeah.
go there again. Then.
We lost 1-0 as well.
As we came in
Not
together.
only we lose, but you know, what I mean, I met you. Bloody
Yeah.
hell, yeah, I mean, yeah. Now let's go Bernabeu.
It was before
bro.
the game.
But that, I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I think we should book flights now to Madrid.
are you joking?
No, not at all. Absolutely not. Because
I'm not
because
booking
when
that
you think
flight,
about it, the moment that we get through, the flights to Madrid are going to probably double,
If
triple.
we get through,
They're
we've got
gonna-
PSVs.
no,
to do.
but-
You said it even before it's thing that it'd be a difficult game.
It will be a difficult game, but hear me out on the rationale.
We know the dates.
Yes, so we already know the dates. The flights are going to double, triple in price. We have got a more than 50% chance of getting through against PSV. So you might as well book the flights, because what you're going to lose if they don't get through is going to be less than what you'll not lose if you hold off.
I think I might wait, mate.
Well, the rationale is you book your
I
flights
see what
now.
you're saying because and you know the dates of it as
Oh,
well.
look,
when you
they're
know the
bringing
dates.
on. They're bringing on Cheeto.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I think that we should. look
I'm
to
not
do
saying
that.
we're going to get through, but the chances are we will, and we know for definite that the flight's going to double, triple in price.
Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid in a quarter final if we get through. And that PSV is not going to be easy. I watched their game the other night
good.
against Juventus, and they played all right.
And it's a away second leg.
Yeah.
So
Well, away second leg in away it'd be if we get through. So
Yeah.
second
yeah.
leg. No, I'm
At the
saying I
end of the
watched
day, they come-
PSV's
they
game.
come-
I'm not
they
about
come-
Real
when did
Madrid's
they come?
game. I watched
16th
PSV's game. the other night.
16th in that league did they come? And there they are at home in the quarter final.
But it's not a massive.
You don't-
All
you-
right, it's a slight advantage.
Oh, that's handball.
But Real Madrid had to play Man City to get there. They're going to have to play. So they've actually got 2 more difficult games than us.
But when it matters, when it gets to the business end,
but they've got to get there.
Aston Villa have done well in this draw, by the way. Coming up.
Yeah.
Well, you lot said it was a great format.
It is.
I've never said it was a great format. I've always said it's like
it's always going to be.
Didn't matter if you come first or right, as it's been proven now. Aston Villa, Bruges in the next round, and then they got like away in the for the first legs. So if we was to get through and Aston Villa were to get through to the semi-final, we have to go to Villa Park first. At the Emirates first and then Villa Park second.
So we could play Villa in the semi-final, can we?
We can do, yeah. Like if they got Liverpool in that, but Liverpool, by the way, finished top, and they got PSG.
Yeah, but PSG finished so low down, didn't they?
Oh, it's a great goal by Bruno Fernandes, by the way. They just got
How
one
long to go?
back.
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Great free kick. He's the one player of real quality in that side, isn't it? Another super chat here from Louis Jacobs who says must have less touches and more precision in the box. If we stay 5 points behind Paul until Saka and Martinelli comes back, we might peak at the best time. So, that's a great free kick.
It's a great free kick.
He's a player. He is quality.
Does anybody move?
No,
that's pathetic from the wall.
Yeah, that ain't a wall, is it?
No, he just stood and watched it go past his head.
They sort of had one in the wall and he ducks.
It's one thing we don't have, isn't it? A free kick expert. And that's another thing on today. We're going to have to be very wary of Ward.
Who's the last person
good
to
on
score
deliveries?
from a direct free kick?
Odegaard against Burnley.
That
was the beginning of the 2021 season.
Yeah, I think it was in lockdown.
Is that long
No,
ago?
it wasn't in lockdown because I was there.
Is that 1-0?
And I had a post right in front of me.
That long ago?
That was long ago. That's the last time we scored a direct.
Oh
Pepe
goodness.
used to get a few, didn't he?
Yeah.
We don't have that expert.
We haven't got an expert in that field.
Yeah. So and they got Ward Prowse, so we've got to be very careful on those things because he is an expert.
No, he's back now, from his loan spell at Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Forest, yeah. So are you confident we could go all the way in this Champions League?
No, not confident. I think the odds are against us. But then I look back at when we did get through and get to the final. I think what was it back in 2006? We had a real makeshift. Talk about Real Madrid. I think we had a real makeshift defence then. If I can remember rightly, I think we had Flamini at left back. We had Aboué at right back. We had Senderos and Touré centre half. I think the only one you'd say would be a starter out of those was Touré.
And we kept clean sheets, a lot of clean sheets.
It was the record, wasn't it, all the way through? So it can happen. It's still a glorified cup competition for me. So I'm not confident we can, but I wouldn't be shocked if we did.
We've got Brentford in between those Madrid games at home. So
it's a home game, so that's the best you can hope for.
So we've got Man United away, of course, in the other one. But it's saying
is the Man United game on the Sunday then?
Yeah, it's on the Sunday now. Yeah.
Okay.
Is it? We moved to a Sunday.
It was on the Sunday.
It was
on the Sunday originally. Yeah. Still
Stays
on the
Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah, that's good.
There's so much difference to do because they'd have had to have changed their Europa League game as well.
So it means we're
I think
we're going to the Carnival now.
Wouldn't it be the fact that Tottenham, because they got AZ out, so you don't want to be bringing the two sets of fans out to
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam clashing.
So apparently Alkmaar's about an hour away from there as well.
Yeah. It's a small country, isn't it?
Very flat as well.
Yeah. So. Anyway, right, let's just remind everybody of the team today that is going to be playing against West Ham United. It's been confirmed. First of all, I'll give you... Oh, sorry. Just about to give you the West Ham team and it just disappeared on me. All right, let me give you the Arsenal team. It's Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, Partey, Rice, Odegaard, Nwaneri, Trossard, and starting up front, his first start up front, Mikel Merino. Right, so that is the Arsenal team to play against West Ham United today. You went 2-0, you went 2-0. I'm actually going 2-0 as well. I think it's a 2-0. But let's wait and see if we can keep a clean sheet. But that is the game today. So massive game for Arsenal. We can go within 5 points of Liverpool with a game in hand if we win the game today.
So be level on games.
Sorry?
Be level on games.
Yeah.
Well, they'll play their
yes
game.
Or no?
Yeah.
It'll be level on games, but then they'll play their game tomorrow.
I think you're incorrect.
You're incorrect.
No,
You're incorrect.
actually,
you were incorrect.
Actually, I'm being correct.
You're looking at future history from tomorrow.
Because I'm saying, if they dropped points tomorrow...
But you didn't say that. Just changed it last minute, doesn't it? Can never admit he's wrong.
Right? Are you saying I could never admit I'm wrong? You said that. Bloody hell. But yeah, we'd go with him...
5 points with the same games.
Yeah. But if they then slipped up tomorrow, 5 points, it'd be 5 points for the game in hand. It would actually mean that it would put you back in Arsenal's hands.
Yeah.
The league, which would be crazy to think.
Win at Anfield.
When you think how far they've
been. That's true. Yeah. So
if we won today,
they've got to lose, haven't they?
Yeah, they'd have to lose. But if we win today and they didn't win tomorrow, it'd actually be in Arsenal's hands, which is crazy to think, because that would mean go to Anfield and win.
If they draw that, it'd still be in there.
Well, it depends what the goal
difference
would be.
They've got a big, massive goal difference.
We'd have to beat them 10-0 at Anfield.
So a draw doesn't, but a win.
Yeah. But even a draw would be encouraging. You know,
stay humble, lads. Let's stay humble.
Let's stay humble, man. Let's stay humble.
Or let's just enjoy it while it lasts.
This is a big game. This is why this game today is so big. Arsenal really have a chance to put serious pressure on Liverpool ahead of that game tomorrow. So let's say it works out. Of course, we got a watch along coming up here, so make sure you keep it locked here on AFTV for the big watch along. Cecil's in the building, and of course we're going to be interviewing fans after the game. So make sure you check that out. It's talking to fans in the studio and also at the ground as well. And hopefully we'll be talking about a big win. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you back very soon.